And then you want to get out your hair shears, and these shears should be really sharp. Oh!
I don't know if this is the best way to trim your hair because you're not really seeing what you're doing because all of the hair is like twisted up. Hey Bad Gang, today we're going to be watching you guys trim your natural hair. So let's get into it.
In today's video, I will be giving myself a trim. I did go ahead and stretch my hair out before beginning. I filmed that portion, but unfortunately I lost that footage. So we're just gonna start the video from this point and I hope you guys enjoy. I can tell that I need a trim, but they're not terrible. You can see like little see-through ends, but it's really not as bad as it used to be when I wasn't trimming my hair consistently. These are the shears that I use. I get them from Sally's Beauty. These are the last pair that I had. They're starting to become dull.
I will say that I like that she's using real hair scissors to trim her hair. Sometimes we use the wrong scissors and when we cut our hair, it's not really cut how it's supposed to be cut. Like as in like a blunt cut because we're using the wrong scissors. Also look out for using any dull scissors because if you use dull scissors to trim your hair, there's really no point in trimming your hair because it's not gonna make the perfect snip, if you get what I'm saying.
Hair. I also know when it's time, when I brush my hair and I get down towards the ends, it kind of gets I get a little resistance, and that's how I know it's time to trim. I like to go through in small sections.
Like she said, you know it's time to trim when you brush it and it has that stopping point, or if you're twisting your natural hair, this is also another way that you can tell if your hair needs to be trimmed. If you take out a piece and you twist it, and if it's like the ends are kind of like wrapping around like a thinner part on the end, us natural hair girlies know what I'm talking about. If it starts doing that and then when you get ready to take the twist out, it's like not, you know what I'm saying? It's doing that thing where it's like trying to knot up at the end. That's another way you can tell if it's time to trim your hair. When you do your twist, it should be like a blunt type of thing going on at the end. It shouldn't be, you know, wrapped around. So yeah, there's two ways that you can tell when it's time to trim your hair.
I'm not a professional, even though I prefer to do my own hair. If you know someone that you can trust, I recommend going to a professional. This is how my ends are looking right now. I'm really not afraid to take off what needs to be taken off. So if I'm going through here, it starts to pull about right there. You see all that right there? I'm gonna take that off. I can see the split ends. I'm actually gonna go up a little bit further than that. About right here. Yeah. So the next section, going through, you can see all that.
I'm not sure what her process is, but when she brought the hair down and then she took a snip, I would snip that one piece of hair the way that she brought it down, and then usually you're supposed to take that same piece, take it to the back, and then, you know, make sure it's snipped properly when you stretch it going straight back. So you want to snip it this way, and then you want to snip it angling back behind you as well, just to make sure it's even for when you like pull it to the front over your shoulders and then when you flip it back. I don't know her process. She may start to do that towards like working her way to the end. Everybody's process isn't the same, which is kind of fun. It's kind of cool that everybody has a different way that they trim their hair. So let's just see how she's going to do hers.
Trim the parts like here. I'm not just stopping there because I know what can really be going on a little further up, and I can actually still see split ends and single strand knots, and that just comes with natural hair. Okay, I pretty much do the same thing going up. I've kind of been trimming to maintain the length of my hair where it's at. I'm gonna try to let my hair grow out this year.
A third way that you can tell when it's time to trim your hair is like she says, when you start to see those little balls or knots on the end, which those aren't supposed to form unless you're not keeping your hair tied up all the time. That usually happens when us natural hair girlies like wear our hair free too much. It's always best when you go to bed at night that you're making sure that you're tying your hair back up and putting some type of covering over it, so that that friction or whatever when you're laying down or you're sleeping wouldn't cause those little balls to be on the ends of your hair. Whereas if you were to go to sleep with your hair like how my hair is now, if I were to go to sleep like this for like a whole week, just carelessly not tying my hair up, it would eventually get those balls on the ends of the hair. So yes, that's another way that you can tell.
Right here, which I'm fine with. But this section, I don't have to do as much. I accidentally cut into my hair the last time I did a trim over on this side, so it's still trying to grow out. I'm gonna just trim that part off. And a teensy bit into it. Repeat again, if you don't feel safe doing this on your own, please go to a professional. All right, here's this part. I can literally see the single strand knots going away. I do tend to trim more at the front of my head than the back, because I'm trying to gradually trim the rest of this color off. And I do want to dye my hair again, I just don't know when. I know what color, I just don't know when, and I don't know who. I can see this right here, y'all. Y'all see that? Yeah, they gotta go. Even the parts connected to it. I'm gonna just go ahead and let it go. Yep, just let it go. How do you do that there? Hey, how you do that there? Trim that off. So I'm trimming off that much, y'all. Did y'all hear anything? Cause I didn't.
Where'd you go? Girl, you know how I've been living without you. Daydreaming on a cloud with you like a horizon. With you tonight is on an island. Yeah. It's about time for waking up. Found you wasn't with me waking up. Now you feel said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. Oh, just to know you want you. So come close, I want you. Can I tell you something for what it's worth? We can have this place on earth. Take you there, I'll take you. Show you something, give you more than words. We can have this place on earth. Take you there, I'll take you there. Take you there, won't you? Fill me up till my cup's.
I'm just evening it out a little bit, so any pieces that I see kind of hanging out, because I like the shape that my hair has when I trim it this way, when it's in its curly state. See the back? Now the ends look a lot better than they did before. It looks more full. Look at that. That looks so much better. I have to get my mirror to see if it looks even in the back, but this is pretty much all that I do.
Okay, I love that she made sure that when she was complete, that she was able to run her hands through it. You're always supposed to, after you're done trimming your ends, you're supposed to always be able to just run your hands through your hair. all whichever way direction when you get done, and it should be no problems. I don't like, well, I guess it's harder if your hair is longer to make sure it's even in the back. I didn't like that she didn't make sure that her hair was even in the back. If your hair is long, you should always get somebody like a partner to help you make sure the back is straight when you put all your hair back there. For if you have shorter hair, I feel like it's a lot much easier to cut the back, make sure the back of your hair is leveled as well. But I do see it's harder for her to do that, so she just does what she can do. So in my opinion, she did a great job.
So my last trim was back in March, and now it's July. So yeah, so my hair is freshly washed. So the first thing I'm going to do is just section up my hair, and I usually clip up my bangs 2 sides, and I section off half of the back. And now I'm going to just take out a medium size section in the back row, and it's just because I want to use small sections. Basically the smaller the better, so, and the smaller the more accurate. So you want to get your hair really wet and moist.
She is right. The smaller the sectioning that you have, the better, but you also want to make sure that you don't do it too small to the point where you're not seeing that everything is even, if you get what I'm saying. You just want to make it she grabbed to the correct amount. You just want to make sure it's not too small and it's not too big.
I'm using a whipped hair butter. This is one of my favorites. It's from DAIbrieell Hair Butter on Instagram. Well, she has an online shop, but she also has an Instagram, so check her out if you would like. And it's also black owned. So I'm going to use a Felicia Leatherwood detangler brush to just detangle that section. And then I'm actually going to show you 2 ways to trim your hair. The first way is to twist it all the way down first after you put on your hair butter, and then you want to get out your hair shears.
I don't know if this is the best way to trim your hair because you're not really seeing what you're doing because all of the hair is like twisted up. You're not seeing if the part that you cut off is what you were supposed to cut off. I guess this is for people that just care about cutting the little straggly part on the end. But I would prefer to do it, like this, not twisting it up and then cutting the ends. But to each his own, you know what I'm saying? If that's how you trim your hair, as long as you trimming your hair, that's all that matters.
I needed to smooth it against my palm and then trim it where I saw the hair getting thin. Not thin, but like raggedy and uneven. So here is a second section that I'm working on, and here you can see the raggedy ends and how the curls are not coherent with the curls up above. Basically the hair strand gets really strangly frayed, and it just looks thin, and it looks like it has too much space. So you just want to trim that off, and trim it off right before it starts. You don't want to leave any of those bad ends, because those bad ends will continue to split up the hair shaft. So you want to do that. So basically I just trim that, and then I just even it out a little bit more, and then twist it down the section. So that's actually the method I'm going to use. I'm going to just smooth on my hair, butter and water, detangle my hair with a Felicia Leatherwood brush, and then smooth the ends along my hand. So I'm going to just smooth it on my palm again, and then I'm going to trim it. And here is a better way to see the trimming, I guess, is to hold it down.
She is cutting a lot off. Like that would hurt me, the amount of hair that she's cutting off. Like I wouldn't cut off that much. But I guess, I don't know, it depends on how far some people's split ends go up. So her split ends may have went up that far, and that's why she's cutting them off like that.
So then you want to twist it up and then move on to the next section. So here is a very dry section, and here I'll show you that the water and the hair butter just bring it back to life. As I'm smoothing on the hair butter, I'm also smoothing it onto my roots you want to smooth this onto your roots so that your roots are moisturized, your scalp, and you want that to be moisturized and not dry at all. So you want to continue to spread on your hair butter all throughout your hair, and then you want to work your way up the shaft as you detangle. And then after you detangle all of your hair, then you want to smooth this onto your hand, smooth the ends onto your hand to see what you're working with. So here you can see it's frayed down there, and attack it in smaller sections. Again, the smaller the better for trimming your hair, and it's actually more accurate if you do it this way than if you do it in a large section. So this is the other half of that twist. I'm going to just trim that piece off and then twist it all up and then move on to the next section. So my hair was really moisturized and shiny. I love hair butter. Hair butter is one of the best moisturizers, I think, for type 4 thick natural hair. So here you can see it was really bad, so I decided to trim it right above where it got bad and then took it all away. And yeah, I really don't have anything against trimming my hair or cutting my hair because it just grows back. I really want my hair to be healthy and moisturized. Having dry ends do not help my hair stay moisturized. They actually dry out my hair, and they actually hold my hair down as far as length retention. So this is why I trim my natural hair. Some factors that make me think that I need to trim my hair are basically, the first factor is that I actually do this on a quarterly basis, which is every 3 months. So every 3 months I decided to trim my hair, and that's basically when my hair starts acting up, which is the second factor. So my ends are sometimes hard to detangle through, like this section here. So that's when I know that I need a trim.
Okay, she's saying that she trims her hair every 3 months. She's saying that because when she's brushing and combing through her hair or whatever she's doing, she's feeling when it's time to do it, just like in the previous video. So with some people, their hair may grow faster and this time frame may be shorter, but with her, this is 3 months. Everybody's time frame is not the same. That's why some people clip their hair monthly, some people clip their hair in 2 months, and like in her case, she clips her hair every 3 months.
When I do my natural hair, it doesn't turn out right. Like my ends don't look right whenever I do a twist out or braid out. And also, if the ends don't coil whenever I coil them around my finger, that's also another indicator that my ends need to be trimmed. So you just want to watch your hair. You want to get to know your hair so you can get to know when you need to trim your natural hair. Otherwise, you'll just be disconnected from it. You won't know when to trim your hair. So yeah, I actually like doing this. I couldn't wait to do this. It feels very freeing afterwards and help my hair out. So also, let me talk about hair butter. So hair butter is a great moisturizer because it is basically butter based. It's shea butter based, and most of the time the hair butter is made of mostly shea butter and then other oils, like other moisturizing oils. And hair butter is just really great. It keeps your hair moisturized for at least 5 days. Not a lot of leave-in conditioners on the market do that, but hair butter is definitely different. It's thick and it keeps the hair moisturized and shiny throughout the week. So if you want to try out, you want to switch over to hair butter as your main moisturizer, definitely try it out. All you have to do is apply it to your hair like I'm doing here on wash day, and then go about your week and your hair will stay nice and moisturized. I think that is the best way to moisturize type 4 hair, and I'll always keep preaching that because it's so true, and I just wish everybody would just try it out because they would love it. Just warm water and hair butter. So here up top, woo, it was really bad up here. This section up here is really actually rough for me. Like it's really a different texture up top. but it also behaves differently. Like it's super dried out.
Usually the crown of your head and the back of your hair is where people have the most issues, because when we go to sleep, we lay down. That's the part that we're laying on most of the time. And when we're combing our hair out, that's the part that it's pulling from. So most people in the world, I'm not going to say everybody, but most people in the world, they have issues with the back and the crown of their head growing. So that's why sometimes that part may be dramatically shorter than the rest of your hair. It's just that hair that's right there, it gets the most tension out of a lot of hairstyles. That's all that is. So to make that better, you would have to wear looser hairstyles, be more gentle with your hair, I would say, for that to get better and, you know, catch up with the rest of your hair. But sometimes it is genetic. That's just the way some people's hair grows.
Because of how damaged, not even damaged, but how weak it is, I guess. And also whenever I do protein treatments, I also give this section a good, you know, protein treatment, whatever, more attention than the other sections of my hair. So yeah, so now I'm finally done. So now I'm going to give you guys some of my final thoughts. So my ends are freshly trimmed and I'm happy now. So my next trim is going to be October, I think. October. Right now it's July, so the next one is going to be October. So I can just take these out and have a twist out. Maybe I'll do that and then show you guys the twist out. Afterwards, I let my hair air dry for a little bit. Then I put on my silk scarf and went to bed.
All right, you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you have an amazing day. Like this video, subscribe, turn my notification bell on so you can know every time I post an updated video. I really enjoy watching these videos with you guys. And I do see you. I will see you guys on my next video.